When did you permanently shut a corrupt business down? My phone rang and I heard my mom sobbing so hard she could barely speak. Her voice was shaking as she tried to explain what happened at her favorite Polish restaurant downtown, where she'd been eating lunch every Tuesday for the past 5 years. She'd ordered her usual potato and cheese pierogi with extra sour cream when she noticed something dark under the toppings. When she moved the fried onions aside with her fork, she found a dead rat. Not a small piece of something questionable, but an actual rat the size of her hand tangled in the dumplings with its gray fur matted in sour cream, and its tail wrapped around 3 pierogi like it was hugging them. The worst part was how the owners reacted. Instead of apologizing, they surrounded her table like a mob. The manager kept insisting it was just a piece of kielbasa that looked weird under the lighting, while my mom held her plate up, trying to show other customers what she'd found. People at nearby tables were covering their mouths and pushing their own plates away, but the staff kept saying my mom was confused or seeing things. The owner's son actually reached for her plate trying to snatch it away before she could take a photo. My mom was crying harder now, telling me how they were making her feel insane. 4 staff members stood around her table speaking in Polish and laughing like she was some crazy lady making up stories. She felt trapped in that corner booth with them blocking her exit. I told her to take pictures immediately and get out of there no matter what they said. She managed to snap 3 photos while they yelled at her to stop. The owner himself came out of the kitchen and grabbed her phone right out of her hands. His fingers were covered in flour as he deleted the pictures one by one, while she begged him to stop. What he didn't know was that she'd already sent one to me through text while pretending to look for her glasses. The image on my screen made me gag. It was definitely a rat with its pink tail twisted through the pierogi and white sour cream covering its matted fur. You could see its little paws curled up and its eyes were open, staring at nothing. I saved it to 3 different places, immediately knowing we'd need evidence. My mom pushed past them and left without paying while they shouted about calling the police. The owner's wife followed her to the parking lot, screaming in Polish about ruining their business and being a lying witch. My mom drove home with her hands shaking so bad she had to pull over twice. She kept saying maybe she was wrong even though we both had the photo. They'd gaslit her so effectively she was doubting her own eyes. That night, the sickness started. First just nausea, then violent vomiting that wouldn't stop. She called me at 3 a.m., barely able to speak between retching. By 6 a.m., she was so dehydrated she couldn't stand up. I found her on the bathroom floor burning with fever and had to carry her to my car. The ER doctors took one look at her and rushed her to a room. Her fever had spiked to 104 degrees, and her blood pressure was dangerously low. They pumped 3 bags of IV fluids into her while running tests. The doctor pulled me aside and said it was the worst case of food poisoning they'd seen all year. Whatever bacteria was in her system was aggressive and had nearly shut down her kidneys. For 3 days, I sat beside her hospital bed, watching her drift in and out of consciousness. The monitors beeped constantly, and nurses came every hour to check her vitals. She was so sick she didn't even know I was there most of the time. I held her hand and wondered if a plate of pierogi was going to be the thing that killed my mother. On day 2, while she was sleeping, the restaurant actually had the nerve to call my cell phone. The owner's son said they wanted to make things right by offering us a week of free meals. A week of free meals